Hey, good morning. I'm Angelo Castro III.
I'm Angela and we are the Castros.
Happy Friday sa lahat ng mga ka-brunch natin. And thank you for joining us across all our platforms, Facebook, YouTube,
Lahat na.
Signal Cable, Channel 8 and 250. 250 HD, Channel 8 SD, standard definition.
Okay, so we would like to thank, first and foremost, Buddha's Belly for sending these over.
Marjorie Tan.
Every Friday naman, it's Buddha's Belly.
Bulas Belly.
Buddha's Belly.
Buddha's
Buddha's Belly's time or day, di
Oh,
ba?
they sent us to the
Yang
show.
chow,
Yang chow.
steamed spare ribs,
Yun.
that one.
Oh.
Sweet chicken.
That one.
That one.
Orange. That one.
And that's it. Siomai.
Then yung fried spare ribs. Ayan, no?
There you go.
Yun. So yan ang atin pampabusog this Friday. Aside from, of course, yung mga balita natin.
Yes.
Oh, ano ba meron tayo ngayon?
And of course, hulaan pa rin nila. Ano ba yung magiging top 1 natin for today?
Yun. We're serving you news in a countdown.
All that before your second cup of coffee. This is Brunch.
Starting our countdown with Alas Pilipinas. Our national volleyball team aced their first game in the 2024 ABC Challenge Cup last night. The Gia de Guzman-led squad beat the Valleyroos of Australia in 4 sets. UAAP standout Angel Canino was named player of the game after tallying 17 points. Alas Pilipinas will next face pool leader India later today with the hopes to qualify for the next round. Watch the games live on One Sports, One Sports Plus, and the Pilipinas Live app.
Sobrang nakakatuwa po. As in, parang pagpasok ko dito, grabe. Grabe talaga. Nagpuno talaga to na mga Pilipino. Tapos parang nakikita ko sila na nag-e-effort din sumisigaw, sumusuporta. So, grabe. Sobrang overwhelming ng feeling. Tapos sobrang happy ko.
That was really an exciting game last night. We saw it on the big story.
Last 2 minutes pa. Last 2 minutes.
Well, congratulations sa ating Alas Pilipinas. So, lagi nga natin na pag-uusapan, di ba, na talagang everyday nag-i-increase yung fan base ng volleyball here in the Philippines.
Yung average fan base ng volleyball, ng mga games na binabroadcast natin have been increasing exponentially every game na to a point na halos ka-level na niya ang the glory days of basketball. Yes. Fast and exciting kasi ang volleyball.
Okay.
Tapos walang oras. Tuloy-tuloy ang ukay.
Alright, let's continue with our countdown. For our 9th spot, let's check in on weather. The low-pressure area near Mindanao has developed into a tropical depression named Aghon. Pag-asa last spotted its center some 340 kilometers east of Hinatuan, Surigao del Sur. It packs winds of up to 45 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 55 kilometers per hour. Aghon is forecast to move generally northwestward until tomorrow while intensifying. It may approach or make a landfall over eastern Samar on Saturday morning. Aghon may intensify into a tropical storm and signal number 2 may be raised in several areas. For now, signal number 1 is up in eastern Samar and the islands of Dinagat, Siargao, and Bukas Grande. Heavy rainfall and minimal to minor impacts from strong winds are possible. Yun. So nakaantabay tayo yan. It's so early in the year usually.
The first storm for the officially.
Yes, it's named Aghon.
Kaya A, di ba?
Oo. Usually kasi, di ba, normally, ang bagyo would come in the middle of June or, second week of June. But now it's kind of early.
Pero usually naman, historically, May has been a season na maulan.
Shifting na to
Kaya
wet
yung mga
season.
nagla-last minute na bakasyon, di ba, nakaka-experience ng rain sa mga beaches. Pero for a storm to come in, yun ang different daw, medyo ano. Plus, we're only 60% confirmed for La Nina. La Nina. So we have to wait for the advice ng Pag-asa kung talagang papasok na ang La Nina. And the termination of El Nino ang inaabangan ng mga tao.
Yes.
Hindi na daw nila kayang init. Mahal na rin ang electricity bill.
From electricity to water bill. Yan yung next mo eh.
Di pa ako tapos. Di pa ako tapos, sinesegue ako. And that's the life of a husband.
Ganun ba?
Alright, let's move on.
Go ahead.
Ranking 8th in our countdown is Angat Dam. The water level there continues to dip below its minimum operating level. Angat Dam's water level today slightly decreased to 179.27 meters compared from 179.68 meters yesterday. The minimum operating level is at 180 meters. Metropolitan Waterworks and Sewerage Systems water allocation will remain at 49 cubic meters per second. However, the water allocation for irrigation will significantly drop to 3 cubic meters per second. MWSS said they are not sacrificing the crops of the farmers, especially the harvest season is ending soon.
Hindi naman po natin sinisakripisyo yung ating pong mga farmers po, no? Kasi natapos na po yung sakahan po nila, coordinated po sa mga irrigators association po, no? And para hindi naman po maapektuhan pa yung mga sakahan na kailangan pa ng additional na tubig, ay bibigyan po natin yung ating pong mga sakahan or yung mga irrigators association ng tulong, just like pagbigay ng mga fuel subsidies.
All right, to tell us more about this, we have MWSS Division Manager Patrick Dizon on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Patrick. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat at sa lahat po ng ating pong taga-subaybay.
Yes, Patrick, I'd like to ask you now with regards to yung last report na namin, why do we need to borrow allocation from irrigation to keep or increase the 49 cubic meters?
For now po kasi, sir, no, ang ating pong allocation po from the Angat Dam, ang requirement po natin is 52 cubic meter per second para po hindi po tayo magkaroon po ng tinatawag po natin na service water interruption. So if bumaba po dito sa ating pong binibigay po na allocation, ay definitely po magkakaroon po tayo ng service interruption. So we opt to borrow yung kanilang pong allocation po from the NIA, which is around 3 cubic meter per second para po hindi po tayo magkaroon ng interruption.
Oo, sir, kasi alam naman natin, this is going to be affected, this will affect yung mga farmer groups natin. So I was wondering if we were able to talk to these farmer groups or yung National Irrigation System itself. Kasi nga, ang danger nito, di ba, yung, kumbaga, yung kinatatakutan ng marami ay yung pagkakaroon ng pinsala, rather, dun sa mga crops nila.
Opo. Actually, this is a whole of the government approach po now with the technical working group ng Angat Dam. Kasi po nakipagtulungan po tayo with the National Irrigation Administration kasi sa ngayon naman buwan po ay nasa last stage na po sila ng cropping stage po nila na kung saan po ay hindi na po nila masyado kailangan po ng tubig. So we requested po from the National Irrigation Administration na hiramin po muna yung kanila pong allocation since hindi naman po nila nagagamit. So, yung mga areas naman po na affected, if ever po na mayroong affected na mga farmlands, ang gagawin po natin ay we will be giving them fuel subsidy for the pumps para magamit po nila. And even po yung mga repairs po ng mga gates po nila ay amin pong i-repair po ito.
Which areas, dugtong ko lang, which areas po natin i-concentrate itong mga water allocation na to? Because I understand in Bulacan, tapos na yung harvest season nila doon. Therefore, hindi na kailangan ng water sa irrigation system nila.
For the MWSS itself po, ang i-distribute po natin yung ating pong hiniram po na location with them sa buong areas po ng buong Metro Manila, Cavite, and also from the part of the Bulacan kasi we are also providing water from the Bulacan Province Water District. So kasama din po yung ating pong Rizal and Cavite area.
Yes, I'd like to ask also yung possibility of consistently lowering the water pressure in these coming days, given na if kung magkaka-impact or hindi si Aghon. Will this happen, Patrick? And where will the lowering of the water pressure take effect?
Yeah, actually, we already conducted yung pressure management po nito. Since, I think, since April pa po, so nakausap na po natin yung ating pong mga concessionaires po, Maynila and Manila Water, to lower the pressure po during the night time po, from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. So that's the time po kasi na mababa po yung consumption po ng ating mga customers, and that's the time din po na ating pong losses po sa sistema ay talaga pong malaki. So might as well po ibaba po natin yung ating pong pressure para po maipon po natin yung mga losses na yun para may magamit po tayo kinabukasan. For the Agon naman po, no, we hopefully po no, dumaan po sa ating mga watershed po no, sa Angat, Ipo and Lamesa para po makatulong po na tumaas po yung ating pong reservoir.
Lastly, just to be clear lang, wala naman, kumbaga, advisory sa water interruption in the following days.
For now po, no, since wala pa po yung allocation po natin for the next month, which is June, actually today is the meeting po ng NWRB Board of Trustees po no, para pag-usapan po yung allocation natin. So hopefully po no, ma-retain po yung ating pong allocation kasi kung hindi po ma-retain po, no, we will advise naman po yung ating pong mga customers if magkakaroon po ng mga interruption. Pero except po no, sa mga areas po no, na we are conducting po yung mga repair works po natin, regularly naman po natin ginagawa para po mapabuti po natin yung ating po serbisyo.
Yun. So hopefully talaga walang water interruption. Yan yung pinagdadasal ng ating mga kababayan. On that note, maraming salamat po sa inyo, MWSS Division Manager Patrick Dizon.
Maraming salamat po at magandang umaga po.
Alright, coming up, what happens now to charter change hearings under the leadership of Senate President Cheese Escudero?
And 5 Filipinos are among the passengers of a Singapore flight hit by severe turbulence. How are they doing now?
We are just getting started. More of our top 10 news when Brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. morning. You're still watching Brunch here on One News. Happy Friday.
And thank you, Marjorie.
Yes, ang
And
Buddha's Belly.
Lahat ng mga loyal viewers natin from some
balik mo na
Pokemon
yung
Go,
salamin mo so you can read it.
Cecil
Stop
Samaniego, and hindi ko na mabasa. Gary Field. Garfield tuloy. Garfield pusa yun.
Sige.
Oo.
Sila yung nag-aabag sa atin kung ano yung magiging top 1 natin
day
for today.
in and day out, sila yung naghuhula.
Oo.
From
ano kaya
top
yung
3 to
one
top
natin?
1, di ba?
Ngayon pala nag-Friday, no? Feeling ko kasi nung Wednesday, nag-Friday na sa sobrang dami ng balita.
Ako kasi nagsimula ang
Diba?
balita ng weekend,
Weekend.
From the Senate leadership all the way to Mayor Guo's hearings. Oo.
Diba?
Oo.
Kasama kaya si Guo sa top 10 countdown
I
natin?
don't know.
I don't
Let's
know.
see.
All right, let's continue with our countdown. Going straight to our 7th spot, President Bongbong Marcos wants a whole-of-government approach to the upcoming La Nina phenomenon. Marcos orders all agencies to coordinate with local government units ahead of La Nina. In Metro Manila, several cleanup drive and clearing operations of canals and rivers were carried out. The DPWH plans to put up more pumping stations in flood-prone areas in Manila and Quezon City.
Ngayon, papalapit na tayo sa buwan ng Hunyo. Inaasahan natin na huhupa na ang matinding init, ngunit mapapalitan naman ito ng matinding pag-ulan. Kaya naman, inaatasan ko ang lahat ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno na ipagpatuloy ang pakikipag-ugnayan lalong-lalo na sa mga LGU bilang paghanda para sa darating naman na La Nina.
Yun. So, we're shifting na nga sa wet season and sinasabi nga ng Pag-asa weather forecasting
But we're still at
system.
60%, di ba? We're still at
60%
60%
daw.
pa rin.
Pero still, di ba?
May 40% chance pa rin na hindi matutuloy ang La
Exactly.
Nina.
So, ito nga sabi nga dito, di ba, several cleanup drive and clearing operations sa mga gagawin nila because it's really important dahil napag-usapan din natin to the last time, di ba, na masyadong maraming mga basura na sa mga kanal na pag nakikita mo pag nagbabaha dito sa Metro Manila o konting ulan lang baha na dito sa Metro Manila at grabe na rin yung traffic.
Kasi mga waterway ng mga barangay, makikita mo, may mga catch nets sila, basin. Makikita mo na talagang if you take a look at it, ang daming plastic bottles, supot, sachets na nag-iipon-ipon. So, linis ng linis naman yung mga taga DPWH natin, tsaka mga local government units, nag-iipon ulit the next day.
Exactly.
Eh, ang ulan, hindi mo alam kung kailan darating. Minsan, bigla na lang dumadating yan eh. So, sana naman, we're diligent in throwing our trash in the proper places.
Exactly.
Diba? Para sa atin na din naman yan eh. Kung magbaha bahala kayo. Pabalik sa inyo yan.
Exactly. And also, yung importante rin yung disaster response ng government.
Yes.
Diba? Pagdating ng mga malalakas na bagyo. Kasi yearly nakikita natin yung mga kababayan natin na wawala ng bahay dahil sa baha. Diba? And what's bothering me talaga, ito ever since na napag-uusapan natin to, yung yung kawalan natin ng, anong tawag doon? Evacuation centers talaga. Yung dedicated evacuation centers sa mga flood-prone areas. Kasi parang every year we would always see schools, diba, being used as evacuation centers. So, alam naman natin, ang bansa natin prone nga sa mga typhoon.
Pero yung
And yet we don't build proper evacuation
Ang alam ko yung sa mga
centers.
hazard map na ginawa ni former and the late President Noy Aquino, yung mga areas na yung high risk for hazards, meron silang dedicated evacuation center that functions also as a multipurpose hall. So yung mga hindi naman high risk, doon napupunta sa school pag may outpouring. Pero alam ko yung mga nakatag na high risk, supposedly meron silang ginawang mga provisional...
I know, I heard about it and I've seen several
encampments.
Oo, tas meron din mga ibang mga private organizations that are building their own parang evacuation centers to help the community. But yun nga, ever since mga bata pa lang tayo, nakikita ko sa news ganyan mga eskwelahan yung ginagamit for evacuation centers. So isa yan sa mga dapat gawin ng this government in preparation, di ba, for the coming rainy season.
Parang sa US kasi din, wala rin naman silang dedicated storm shelters. Parang they use stadiums also.
Yeah.
And multipurpose
Yeah,
halls.
kasi syempre kapag pag panahon ng walang bagyo, sayang naman din yung area.
Natutulog yung
I
pera
understand,
in development. So at least man lang, in multipurpose halls in high-risk areas, dagdagan nila. Yun lang naman. Alright, let's move on. Heating at the 6th spot is affordable rice. Customers flock to the Katiwa stores to buy rice for only 29 pesos per kilo. This is significantly cheaper compared to the rice being sold at markets for 45 to 55 pesos per kilo. However, nasamahang industriya ng agrikultura warned that this offer might not last.
Saan natin kukunin yung pondo to subsidize yung bigas? Kasi kung DA ang nagpapatakbo niyan, hopefully hindi niya kinukuha sa budget allotted na sa agri-department, or lalo na kung budgeted na siya sa mga local producers natin. Kung ibebenta man ng 29, ang tinatanong natin kasi, saan magagaling yung subsidy mo na 21? Kasi from 50, gagawin mo 29, so may 21 pesos na sinasubsidize ang government. Ang tanong lang naman natin, okay, lahat tayo gusto mura bigas.
Meanwhile, the Agriculture Department raised alarms over the overpricing of pork products in the market. Based on their latest monitoring, the retail price of pork has reached 420 pesos per kilo. VA said they should conduct inspections to identify the traders involved in overpricing. They also assured the public that there is enough supply of pork, despite the threat of African swine fever in some parts of the country.
Kumbaga, ibabalik nila kasi sa NFA yung kanilang dating strategy, which is yung buy high and sell low.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Kasi ang nangyayari, actually yung mga farmers, if we've seen several reports this past few weeks, sinabi nila medyo mas okay sa kanila nga yung ganun. Kasi 'di ba, nagkakaroon sila ng patas na laban when it comes to selling their harvest.
Yeah.
Dahil nga natigil yun during the rice tariffication law. But actually, inaabangan nga nila ma-amend yung rice tariffication law dahil para magawa nila itong buy high and sell low strategy nila.
Pero we also have to take a look yung problem natin with import versus export.
Yes.
Because ang surplus is doon tayo nagkakatalo I think for exports, we have something like 5 billion in income. Tapos sa imports, we're spending around 11 billion. So meron tayong negative 6 billion. That means hindi maganda ang balance natin.
At the end of the day, ang farmers natin ang affected.
Yes, and overall natin yung supply ng production. Our production will weaken, although may income tayo dito based sa mga tariff na napupunta sa farmers, but hindi lahat naman ng industry sa food natin and manufacturing ang nabibiyayaan ng mga subsidy. Mostly yung mga rice farmers lang. Pero yung mga ibang production outlets natin that mga pork, chicken, canning, di ba, nahihirapan sila.
Tapos ang sinasabi kasi nila, dapat daw, yun nga, mag-invest sa Agriculture Department ng infrastructure.
May sabi naman ni Senator Villar, meron na
They will. Tsaka dapat dagdagan nila
mechanized na Mechanized na tayo.
Mechanized. They should invest more on dryers.
Yes.
At saka yung mga, yung ang tawag doon, yung silos o silos, yung...
Silos.
Yung mga pang-store.
Rice silos.
Ng rice,
O meron na nga tayong drone na mga nagkakalat ng bigas. Di ba? Palay. May drone na tayo.
Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Bilis, top 5 na tayo. Coming in at our top 5, this board lawyer Larry Gadon has been found guilty of gross misconduct by the Supreme Court. According to the High Court, Gadon committed perjury in the impeachment case of former Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno. The SC said the former lawyer also made accusations based on hearsay. Gross misconduct is punishable by disbarment, but this will not be imposed again as Gadon has already been disbarred. In 2023, he repeatedly uttered curse words and profanities on social media against journalist Raisa Robles. Despite that, the Marcos administration said Gadon will remain as the presidential advisor for poverty alleviation. Hindi ba natin nasakto yung... He was here kasi the other day di ba?
Yeah.
I mean, we talked to him regarding naman dun sa issue ng poverty haka-haka. Pero yun nga, ito yung reason niya.
He downplayed that he was taken down out of context.
Out of context.
But also he told us in the end ng show natin na those who are hungry daw sa barangay level, medyo kasalanan din nila yon. Kasi
Baka hindi daw nagko-coordinate or they don't go.
Dahil hindi sila napapalista. Now, I understand kailangan mo magpalista, but there are some people who are not capable anymore of looking para magpalista because nagugutom na nga ang tao.
That's why the government is there to reach out to people.
So, hindi na naman kasalanan ng tao kung ba't siya hindi nakapaglista or gutom siya. So, let's not point fingers, let's just help na lang.
And going back to this case, sinasabi nga niya he's actually questioning the authority of Supreme Court daw, diba, to decide on this case because yung cases on, yung kay Sereno, impeachment sa House of Representatives.
Testimony niya was used.
So, ewan ko kung ano mangyayari. Pero kasi yun nga, hindi na siya madidisbar. Supposedly,
Disbarred na siya
supposedly yun ang kanyang parusa dito sa kaso na to.
Yeah.
But he's already been disbarred. Ang ano na sa kanya, magbayad siya ng 150,000 pesos. At saka hindi na siya, ang tawag dito, hindi na siya eligible ng judicial clemency.
Okay.
Don't go away. More of our top 10 news when Brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. May guest kami.
Welcome back. You're still watching Brunch here
Close
on
na
One
tayo.
News. Alam nila pag two-shot, parang last week, may kasama tayo. Di ba?
Oo, close tayo ngayon.
Akala nila brunch break, wala nang brunch. Hindi, meron kaming brunch.
meron.
Pero time out muna po tayo sa mga countdown.
Countdown.
Because it's time for brunch break.
Discover a world full of chances and opportunities in One News new program Methods to Greatness premiering. Oh, malapit na.
Malapit
on
na. Saturday na. That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow pala. Talk more about this. We have Methods to Greatness host, entrepreneur, and best-selling author, John Aguilar. Good morning.
Morning,
Good morning.
John.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me here.
Yes, we have food here for
Yes.
you.
I know.
You can
It's ano,
feel free anytime you want
It's
to.
Calories Day today.
grab a bite.
Calories.
So
Wait.
habang pinag-uusapan natin.
Yeah,
yung
I'd like to kick off. How excited are you na, tomorrow na, no? Tomorrow na.
Yeah, very excited. Kasi we shot this documentary, Methods to Greatness, for more than a year.
Okay.
So matagal siya. And we went all around the world filming different aspects of health and wellness. So, ang dami kong ginawa. Like, first episode tomorrow features the happiest country in the world,
Yes, I
Finland.
think I saw that post. And then, yeah. Oh.
Exciting.
Ngayon, why did it reach a year? Was it something that was really planned? Or may mga obstacles along the way? Kaya medyong humaba ang pag-shoot mo?
Apart from the closure of CNN Philippines,
Yeah.
That we know. Oh.
Yeah.
where our show before came from. But ano kasi, I'm 46 years old, but I'm also a master athlete. A master is another word for the older athletes.
Okay.
So nag-compete ako last year to get a slot sa national team ng track and field masters division.
okay.
So it
Okay.
actually happened April of last year. So doon nag-start yung journey of getting back into my sport, getting injured and doing all of these things to recover. So lahat yung dinocument namin of how I was able to work with all of these experts.
Okay.
Sige, can you tell us more about Methods to Greatness? How did you start this? Diba? Kasi I heard it also, you can hear about this on podcasts, etc. Go ahead.
Yeah, kasi nung pandemic, I put up this podcast called Methods to Greatness. And what happened was, the world's biggest publishing company, Penguin Random House, actually approached me and said, "Oh, we know about your other show, Final Pitch, and what you're doing now. Would you like to pitch concepts, book ideas to us?" So Methods to Greatness, when it started out as a podcast, eventually morphed into a book. Then last year, we launched the Methods to Greatness documentary series, which will now be
Aired
aired
here.
tomorrow. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and your first episode was you mentioned a while ago as one of the happiest.
Yes, country.
Yes.
Yes,
Can you
yes.
tell me more about that? Interesting, ah.
Yeah, kasi Finland is known as the happiest country in the world.
Right.
There's this UN study that says that because of all of the factors in their economy, their government, the people there are generally the happiest on earth. Because
How do they measure happiness pala?
yeah, because they have a bunch of different metrics such as stability, political stability, personal freedoms,
Yeah.
and economic-wise, the economy is very stable. And they're really allowed to pursue, their higher calling. And that's what I found
okay.
out when I got there. Kasi iniisip natin, tayo mga Pinoy, palagi tayo nakasmile. di ba?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Pero pagdating ko doon, they weren't all that jovial. But what I discovered was happiness to them is being content with what you have and with your life. But apart from that, marami rin akong ginawa, like doing cold plunges in the Baltic Sea.
I think I saw the yeah.
Oo, 0 degrees. Obviously, yung sauna culture is very big there. So, ang daming factors to happiness that I was able to discover when I went to do that 1 week filming in
So parang
Finland.
it's a combination, yun nga, yung Methods of Greatness and of course yung you being an athlete.
Yes.
Parang ganun. Ano?
Yes.
So any particular guest that you want to feature in your program?
In the future?
Yeah, in the future.
Or baka meron ka nang naka-line up na...
Madami.
oo.
Oo. In fact, yung season 1, I did a lot of consultations with experts, iba-iba, from doctors to, I guess, people in business. So MaxiCare, we partnered with them.
Yeah.
And it's really about creating your best life, living your best life. And I was able to see through the series how when I talk to all of these experts, ang dami mga commonalities when it comes to happiness, greatness. And a lot of these things, iisipin mo, are quite, I guess, fundamental to us as human beings.
Right.
Things like family,
Yes.
stability. So greatness kasi can be defined in so many ways.
So many ways, yeah.
But it's interesting looking at your body of work. What drives you to do all of these? Do you have an end goal in mind? For example, methods to greatness, diba? First of all, what does that really mean for you? And what do you plan to do after this?
Yeah, that's a complicated question to answer just because, as you said, no, greatness can be defined in so many
Yeah.
ways. And ako personally, I've always been kasi someone who took care of his body, and well, mental wellness is also a big factor, especially during the pandemic.
Yes, oo.
And what we found is that when we are able to bridge people to the right people, the right experts, sometimes you just need help. Sometimes you just need someone who will tell you or guide you into how you should think, maybe how you should take care of your diet, your nutrition, all the things that affect you as a human being. So I feel like this Methods to Greatness journey that I underwent, a lot of people can learn from because they can then take their own greatness journeys eventually. And what we want to create is an avenue where the experts will be able to give their input and advice, not just to me, but to people who will be watching the documentary series. No? Parang end goal would be, how do you improve your life as a couple, as an
As an
executive,
individual.
as an athlete, all of these things.
Kumbaga, it's parang each person can achieve greatness, pero there's no template for it.
Exactly.
In other words,
Yes,
they have their own issues.
Yes.
Specific things can be done.
Right. What is greatness for me is not the same thing for you.
Exactly.
But we have our own paths to greatness. So it's quite sometimes a little bit philosophical just because we deal with so many things in our daily lives, diba? Ang daming nangyayari. Sometimes we just really have to sit down, reflect, and think of our vision for ourselves for the future.
Who was John Aguilar before all of this?
Yes, I was
People
gonna
would like
ask
to know,
that.
who were you before all of this?
Oh, I had a lot more hair back in my 20s. But I really started in my early 20s. I worked for a couple of networks
Yes.
until I created my own company. So I started my TV production company when I was 25. Started from my room, and the vision was always to create TV shows that would be able to bring value to people.
Wow.
So, kasi nung time na yon, ang dami kong ideas like how to maybe create something educational. And through the years, it has evolved to a real estate show, which we've done for so long. And
Yeah.
then we have the final pitch,
Yes.
which bridges entrepreneurs to investors. And now this is the latest evolution and very personal, in fact, to me because it's really my advocacy to be able to spread health, wellness to people.
Yeah.
Kasi, our health really is really in our hands. Eh. Although environmentally, there are so many factors that influence our health.
That's true.
But it's the decisions, the little decisions that we make on a daily basis, what to eat, when to sleep,
Yeah.
what to think, that affect how we live
That's correct.
and take care of our bodies and our minds.
You mentioned a while ago that many people, di ba, parang focus on mental health during the pandemic. And right now that we are, going back to our normal lives, I was wondering how do you, kumbaga, encourage these people? Kasi some of them, most of them that I've talked to, are experiencing positivity fatigue. No? So how can you talk to them regarding that, to pursue, continue on with their lives, diba, without having, feeling yung positivity fatigue?
One thing I realized in one of my conversations, in particular with Bobby Makasaet, he's actually the chairman of MaxiCare. So we sat down in a park in Ayala, and he was telling me, because I had just recently stopped consuming alcohol okay, in January. So I told him that's what I did. Siya naman, he's a cancer survivor, and he shared with me his going vegan.
Okay.
And the fact that when he went vegan, he didn't think of it as, although he quit cold turkey, sa kanya, it was a process where, sometimes he would have the occasional steak or, diba, kumbaga hindi siya dogmatic. He's not that strict about, okay, I'm a vegan now, therefore I have to abide by all of the rules of being vegan. So I think that's a good way of looking at things. No? If you want to create a change in your life, maybe have an idea generally how you'd like to proceed to that change, but to not be so hard on yourself.
Yes.
Na parang, 'Di ba dapat lahat ito perfect gagawin
Yeah,
ko.
oo.
Yung sinasabi mong, I think, the positivity,
Fatigue. Oo.
Sometimes kasi we want to be able to change things, pero we're not perfect.
At the snap of our fingers, okay, tapos I'm different now. But
Exactly.
it doesn't go that way, di ba?
It's not sustainable, right?
But it's interesting,
Parang
Jan,
gradual.
you were mentioning, like for example, the one you were talking to about consuming, he wants to go vegan, but he doesn't want to be hard on himself. It seems like you're saying that a key to a healthy mind also, or mental health, also starts with what you put in your physical body.
Yes.
So, some people think kasi na you can just cure your mental state by just being positive or being mentally strong. But now you're saying parang may epekto ang physical body mo. If you're too tired, if you're too thin, too fat, may epekto sa mental health.
For sure. In fact, the biggest factor, or one of the biggest, if not the biggest factor, is sleep. You know, when you lack sleep, especially if it's consecutive days, your productivity, the way you feel, your mood, gets affected. So a lot of these things, not a lot of people know,
Yeah.
no? And you can control it. That's the thing. You can control how you show up in the world by making these small decisions. Like, for example, we're big Netflix watchers, my wife and I.
Kami rin.
Diba? But we
Yeah.
have a 9-year-old also, diba? So parang kami, konting disiplina lang at a certain time. Time na to just read the book to our 9-year-old, or diba? It's these things.
Bonding time and stuff.
Setting
Making
priorities
these small
as well.
decisions. So,
Okay, so why don't you promote your book na wala dito ngayon that I
Yes.
wanted to see? Okay, and also your upcoming show.
yes, so I'd like to invite everyone to, I do have the book Methods to Greatness. It's out in National Bookstore, fully booked. It was the genesis for this documentary series, Methods to Greatness, which airs beginning tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Here on One News. We have replays as well, every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. And it's going to be initially an 8-part documentary series where I go around the world really discovering the greatness in people, and in so doing, hopefully also finding my own greatness. It's an invitation for you to take your own journey through the series. And I hope that after the series, a lot of people will take their health, their wellness into their own hands, because to be honest with you, the biggest influence to our health is really ourselves and the way we think. So I'd like to invite you to take that journey with us for these 8 weeks, because after this first season, we will be welcoming others to take their Methods to Greatness journey with us.
Wow.
And that's channel 8 signal cable and 250 for HD.
Okay, we're so
memorize ka na.
excited. I really want to read that
We're
book
looking
as
forward
well.
to tomorrow.
Oo.
Tomorrow na po yan.
Looking forward to that
Tomorrow na
show.
po yan.
Congratulations and good luck. Thank you so much, John Aguilar.
Thank you so much.
Hey, don't go away. More of our top 10 news when brunch returns. Keep it here on One News. budget naman. Welcome back lahat ng mga ka-brunch. You're still watching us here on One News.
Yan, happy Friday and thank you so much Abudas Belly for giving us or sending over this
food.
This food. Pero gusto ko lang batiin mabilis lang ito nanonood sa atin si Ralph Domingo, Gary Field, at saka si Alex Fuentes. At saka of course si Ma'am Menchi Silvestre.
Ay, oo.
Nanonood
Ma'am
siya all the
Menchi.
way from Polillo Group of Islands in Quezon.
Hello, Ma'am Menchi.
With 70 and counting blood donors. Wow, ang dami nun All right, JG Summit President and CEO Lance Gokongwei urged the government and private sector to boost education, manufacturing, and tourism during his speech in the Business World Economic Forum. Mobile Journal Mary Reyes has the story.
In an economic forum organized by Business World in Taguig City, JG Summit President and Chief Executive Officer Lance Y. Gokongwei emphasized how the country's economy would be boosted by having the state serve as a key enabler through facilitating the cost and ease of doing business, creation of job opportunities and livelihood by private companies, maximizing young Filipinos' potentials to be at par with the fast-changing times, and look into ways to revitalize the Philippines' manufacturing sector. Direct and indirect tourism should also be part of the economic growth plans due to the country's natural wonders and ideal locations for income-generating activities. In a separate speech, NEDA Secretary Arsenio Balisacan also cited the need to make economic growth more inclusive. With the goal of reducing poverty to single-digit levels and to improve the lives of Filipinos, he said better access to high-quality employment and market opportunities and strengthening of social protection should be given, especially for lagging regions who have fallen behind. However, he also pointed out several factors that may hinder sustaining the country's economic growth. This would include constraints such as the poor state of the country's infrastructures, whether on connectivity like roads and railways, or within the digital sphere such as the internet and power, a notion supported by Globe Telecom Inc. Vice President Emmanuel L. Estrada. Issues related to this are said to have made operating costs higher than necessary and made local industries less competitive. Existing policies and regulations enacted on business operations should also be improved. When asked if geopolitical tensions, like with the country's currently heated debate on territory against China, would affect economic growth, Balisacan assured that the government is mindful of its diplomatic relationships and is working to achieve harmony across private and public sectors who have industry connections with China.
Because we are all part of the supply chain, a global supply chain. China is part of a major part of the global supply chain. Our industries are are connected to the supply chain. So you can't afford to isolate yourself from any of our neighbors. So we will continue to reach out to solve our problems, these geopolitical tensions in many fronts.
The need to raise financial literacy was also pointed out in the forum, as well as the benefits of public-private coordination to attract investments. The economy was said to have grown by 5.7% in the first quarter, slower than expected, and below the state's 6 to 7% target for the year. Mobile Journal Mary Reyes, we are One News.
Top 4 na tayo, and it's about the Senator's dinner at Malacanang. Senator J.V. Ejercito says he did not attend the gathering because, quote, mahirap makipagplastikan. The dinner happened on Tuesday, a day after Senator Mig Zubiri stepped down as Senate President upon knowing that he was set to be ousted. His successor, Senator Cheese Escudero, and other senators and their spouses were present in the dinner hosted by President Marcos and First Lady Liza. In an interview with Storycon, No-Show Ejercito says he still felt bad as Zubiri's leadership and those who supported him did not do anything wrong. Recall that Zubiri said his ouster was due to, quote, failure to follow instructions from the powers that be.
Moving on to our third spot. Our third spot is about charter change. What would happen now to Chacha under the leadership of Senate President Cheese Escudero? Let's find out in this report by Ria Fernandez.
Though the regular session of Congress is now on break, Senate President Cheese Escudero is planning to meet with House Speaker Martin Romualdez to iron out priority bills that will be tackled by Congress once regular sessions resume in July. On top of the agenda is talks on economic charter change, which remains pending in the Senate. For Senate President Escudero, word wars between the two chambers on the controversial measure must first stop before discussions resume.
Sabi ko sa kanya, mag-usap at magkita kami sa darating na linggo marahil para mapag-usapan una sa lahat ang relasyon ng Kamara at ng Senado na sana maayos, wala nang palitan na maanghang na salita.
The relationship between the Senate and House turned sour due to the push for a people's initiative to amend the Constitution, which some senators believe was started by some congressmen. Lawmakers from the two chambers traded barbs over this. That's why Escudero wants to first repair this relationship between the two chambers before resuming talks on Chacha, which he himself is known to be opposed to. In fact, Escudero says hearings on economic Chacha may not move forward for now, as Senator Sonny Angara, the chairperson of the Subcommittee on Constitutional Amendments, has also resigned from the post.
Gaya ng sabi ko, pansamantalang pagpapaliban namin yan para sa ayos kung sino ba talaga ang mamumuno niyan. This is a pending measure. So we have to decide one way or the other how to go about it. But my thrust right now, without consulting yet my colleagues in the Senate, would be to assign it to where it should be assigned.
House Speaker Martin Romualdez says he has already accepted the fact that he and Escudero have opposing views when it comes to Chacha. But Romualdez says he still looks forward to his upcoming meeting with the new Senate President.
Well, tingnan natin kasi hindi kami pa nag-uusap, hindi kami pa nag-meeting. But yung hangarin lang po ng House ay economic reforms and economic amendments. Yan ang pinakamaganda sa demokrasya. Lahat yan pwede pag-usapan, ipupulong-pulong natin, makafocus tayo.
Aside from Chacha, Romualdez and Escudero will also discuss other priority measures of President Marcos. Escudero notes, though, that the Senate will remain independent under his leadership and will not simply serve as a rubber stamp of the administration. For News 5, Ria Fernandez, we are One News.
Switching gears and on to our top two. The Senate is now set to decide on the divorce bill after being approved in the lower chamber. The bill's principal author, Congressman Edsel Lagman, believes that the measure has a high chance of progressing in the Senate, especially now that Senator Francis Tolentino is the new Senate Majority Leader. His predecessor, Senator Joel Villanueva, was known for his opposition to divorce. Senate President Cheese Escudero admits that he has not yet seen the version passed by the House. For him, it would be better to make an annulment process more affordable rather than pushing for divorce in the country. He noted, though, that the Senate will deliberate on the matter.
Very excited pa naman si Congressman Edsel Lagman dahil sabi niya iba na yung liderato dyan sa Senate.
Oh, yun na naman sinabi ko Just transfer the provisions to annulment, make it affordable and shorter. Baka pwedeng ganun din.
Alright, let's continue with our countdown. Our top story for today are the Filipino passengers in the Singapore Airlines flight mishap. One of them has to undergo surgery after her neck got fractured from the severe turbulence accident on Tuesday. Here's a report.
Got a cut in my eye. I kind of woke. I woke on the floor. I didn't realize what happened, and I must have hit my head somewhere.
I'm in a lot of pain, and it was quite scary. But yeah, I don't think I'll be flying again for a while.
These are just some of the horror stories from the passengers of Singapore Airlines flight SQ321 that was hit by severe turbulence earlier this week. The flight departed from London on Monday and was en route to Singapore when it encountered severe turbulence. It was forced to make an emergency landing in Bangkok, Thailand. A British national died from the incident, while dozens of passengers were injured and had to be rushed to hospitals for treatment. The Department of Migrant Workers or DMW confirmed that 5 Filipinos were among those who were injured. A family of 3 with a 2-year-old boy, a male passenger, and a Singapore-based Filipina migrant worker. All of them are in stable condition, including the infant. However, the OFW will reportedly have to undergo surgery because of her fractured neck. In an interview with The Big Story, Marlene Singson of Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines said that global warming is affecting the safety of flights.
One thing that we are very, very worried about is the global warming. These particular changes also brings about changes in the airspace. It's a different scenario right now when it comes to weather. So matatalim po talaga ang mga kidlat. And one factor po na ganito ang characteristics ng lightning right now is, of course, the heat being experienced by our planet.
Singapore Airlines has apologized for the incident and promised to extend all possible assistance to affected passengers and crew members. Singapore's Transport Safety Investigation Bureau is now conducting an investigation into the incident.
Gusto ko lang sana balikan yung sa yung kay very powerful statement ni Senator J.V. Ercito. Yung hindi daw niya kaya makipagplastikan. So in other words, parang it's very powerful in a sense. It's because this will dictate, or this is a glimpse of what will happen in the future in terms of alliances. Yung parang nakikita mo based on this, parang may high chance na makipag-alyansa sila kay Senator Coco Pimentel and Senator Risa Ontiveros sa minority, which will give them a 9-member minority bloc, which is very strong, a very strong minority, because you need 13 or 14 to change leadership, which means Senator Chis Escudero will have a hard time pressing for mga to pass for agendas niya na hindi acceptable sa minority. And he has to please everyone. Kung hindi, may high chance,
mag-change na naman ni Derato. Pero tingnan natin kasi sabi nga nila, they will use this time off, 'di ba? To contemplate everything, to plan kung basta ang importante daw, they still remain independent.
Yes, sabi
itong Super 7 tawag nila, or seatmates.
They used to be called Magnificent 7, parang ngayon Solid 7 sila, 'di ba? Pero in essence, since may rift sila between the group of the current speaker tuloy Senate President si Chis Escudero, then we kind of see na yung Solid 7 plus the 2 minority will have the same decision-making in terms of kung ano yung policies na gusto nila i-push or ano yung i-scrutinize nila. Right. Nakikita mo na yung mga measures sa LEDAC na anong possible na ma-delay, anong possible na bumilis. Pero definitely daw ang Chacha ay madi-delay. Because wala na si Senator Angara sa committee niya.
Sa committee niya.
So medyo mababagalan sila doon.
Abangan natin. Medyo mahaba-haba yan na usapan, pero naka-break sila ngayon ng mga usapin na politika.
During the break, in transition to SONA, that's where everything happens.
Yes. That's why, kaya nga di ba sabi nila, hindi pa pinatapos si Senator Misobiri ng 2 regular sessions. Ganon ka-importante na mag-change ang leadership sa Senate.
I remember si Senator Ted Cruz says, during session, no action happens. It is during the break that when everything happens daw. Doon ang, I'll pass your bill, you pass my bill, you scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Yan ay tignan natin.
Parang sika. Tika natin. Ako bahala sa'yo, pare. That'll do.
That'll do.
All right, and since it is a Friday, I'd like to leave you with a quote that you could use maybe to help your weekend become better. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved. And this is a quote from Helen Keller.
Alright. Nako, happy Friday sa lahat ng ating mga viewers, di ba, for today. And that wraps up today's episode of Brunch.
Akin yun ah.
Oh, ikaw naman, palit tayo.
Join us again on Monday. I'm Angelo Castro III.
And I'm Angela Lagunsad Castro.
We
are
are
One News, all sides, all the time. Ang tagal mo, 11 na eh.